My name is Vishal Singh and I'll be teaching you chess today. So in the previous class, we had continued with how to checkmate using the queen, and we'll be finishing up that today for sure. And then we'll probably move on to checkmating with the rook. All right. So I hope you guys remember what we did in the last class. If not, no issues. I'll give you a quick recap about that as well. So I'm pretty sure we completed this specific puzzle in the previous class, and the answer to this was again quite simple. You're playing as white, by the way, and you need to checkmate the enemy king in one move. Okay, so the answer to this was quite simple. It was queen to d5. What would happen if you played this queen to d5? All right, let's look at this in a different way. So the queen and the rook are already occupying all of these blocks, the squares, right? Because the attack range of both of them extends horizontally. The queen is also occupying this block. The pawn here is occupying this block. So the king has no place to go. The reason this is not a checkmate is because the king itself is not under the direct check at the moment. So what we need to do to make this a checkmate is give a check to the king directly and make sure none of the squares around the king are not under our attack range as white. Okay. So once we do that, it will be a complete checkmate. So the simple answer to this was queen to d5, making it a complete check. The king cannot go here because on the sixth rank entirely because of the rook. It cannot go down here due to the pawn and the queen. It cannot go at f4 due to the pawn again. And the reason the king cannot capture the queen is the bishop. The bishop is supporting the queen from b3, making this a complete checkmate. Understood? Quite easy. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. So you're playing as white in this as well. Go ahead, pause the video. I've told you what you're playing as. Think of a possible solution. Look at the pieces where they are and how you can utilize them, and then come back and play the video. All right. Now, hopefully, you did pause the video and come back. So let's begin. Okay. So you're playing as white, and you need to checkmate the black king in one move. So let's see what are the possible places the black king can move. Okay. So the black king cannot jump on its own pieces. So let's get rid of queen and the two pawns. So it now only has two blocks to move. It is not under any kind of check at the moment. So we also have to make sure the king is also under the check and it cannot escape to any of these two blocks. That is e7 and f8. Once we make sure of that, it will be a checkmate. So what is the best move? You have a queen here at h5. If you people have noticed, that is directly laser beaming the pawn here at f7. And we have a bishop here that is again laser beaming the pawn here at f7. Now, do you think you should bring your bishop here at f7 because it will be supported by your queen? It will be a check, but the bishop cannot move horizontally and vertically, right? It can only move diagonally. So it will be a check, but the king can still escape to f8 and e7. So we do not want that. See, the king has still these places to go to. So we do not want this. What can we do? Remember the queen, if we attack with the queen, what would happen? The queen can move vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. So does that mean we will be occupying all the three blocks that we wanted to? They will be within our attack range? Yes, right? So that is the thing which will make it a complete checkmate. Got it? So the answer to this was again quite simple. It was queen to f7. And that makes it a checkmate. Cool. I hope you guys understood this. So let's move on to the next one. All right, this is a little tricky one. This is not checkmate in one move, but a series of 2 or 3 moves. You're playing as white. Please pause the video for 2 minutes. Think really hard. I want you guys to know this. I know it sort of looks like your queen will be eaten here. By the way, it's white to play. It is your move. So what can you do to make this a checkmate within 3 moves? All right, within 2 moves actually. All right. So go ahead, pause the video. You're playing as white. Think what can be done and then come back. All right. So thing is, if you do not move your queen away at the moment, the white queen, it will be captured by the black queen. So what can we do? But we also need to attack this spot here, right? Or this spot in order to make this a checkmate. And also don't forget your knight has an attack range over these two blocks. Okay, so what can be done? What you can do, this is a little hard, but try to understand. If you just kill the enemy rook using your rook at a8, if you play rook to f8, it's a check to the enemy king, right? So what happens in a check? You have to move, you have to escape, capture, or protect your king, right? You cannot play any other move. You cannot play your queen, your knight, your pawn, or anything else. So what can the black king do? It cannot move inside. That would still be a check, right? So moving inside is not an option. What can he do? There's no escape. There's nothing that can come and protect the king within one move. So that is out of the option. The only thing that king can do right now is capture the rook in order to escape from the check. So the black king captures the rook. Right now it's white to move again. Now remember, your knight has an attack range over the pawn here at f7, right? And your queen is in laser beaming the same particular pawn. Now it's white to move. You simply play queen to f7 and that's a check. Right? The king cannot move over here because all of these blocks are under our queen's attack range. Not even the black queen or the knight can come here to save its king within one move. So this was a little tricky, but a very uh, smart move, you can say. All right, even though this was a very tight and tricky situation where queens facing each other, you simply had to play rook to f7. That would create a check to the black king that it had to avoid, and there was only one way to avoid the check, that was to capture our rook in return. So we gave up our rook basically. We lost, we made it look like we lost our 5 points for nothing, but what we really went for was actually checkmate. So it's not always like if you're giving away your points, always look if your enemy is giving away it's a big piece for absolutely free, it might be a trick. It happens a lot in chess. So once the black king captures your rook, you can simply play queen to f7 and that is a check. Right. This was a little hard, but I hope you guys understood. I'm sure you guys understood. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay. So in this one, you're playing as black. Okay, so you are playing as black. Go ahead, pause the video, think what can be done. This is again a checkmate in one move, so not very difficult like the previous one. Pause the video, come back, let's see what can be done. Okay, so you need to checkmate. Hopefully you did pause the video, you thought a lot and you came back. So you're playing as black over here and you need to checkmate the white king using your queen. What can be done? So the knight over here at e7, e3, sorry, is not protected by anything, right? It's not protected, so we can capture it. Well, let's see what places does the enemy king has to move. So it has 1, 2, 3, and 4. It can move at the moment to 4 places, but let's eliminate h1 and f1. Why? Because our knight has an attack range over these two blocks. So the king now can only move to f2 and either move to f2 or stay here at g1 because it is not directly under check, so it is completely fine for the king to stay here at g1. So what we can do to make sure the entire line is under our queen's attack range would be to capture the knight here at e3 because the knight was completely unprotected, so it's fine. So once you do that, it is a checkmate. The king cannot move to these blocks. Why? Because these are under the attack range of our queen, and definitely not to f1 and h1 because of our knight extending its attack range over those. Clear? This was quite simple, but all right, let's move on. Okay. So you're playing as white in this one. Go ahead, pause the video, think what can be done, look at the pieces and then come back. All right. This was quite simple. I'm sure you guys noticed it too. The black king is already here. It's already like trapped. It cannot go out because of the queen or the king anyway. So the basic move, the answer to this would be queen to h1. Your queen is protected by your king. it is supported by your king, so it's okay to get the queen close to the king, and then it has both of the blocks as under your attack range, and it cannot even capture this pawn here at g4. Why? Because your bishop is supporting the pawn, and it definitely cannot capture the pawn here at h4, because even if it captures, that would still be a check to the king, meaning that would be an illegal move. So this was a very easy checkmate actually. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so in this one, you're again playing as white. And all right, you have enough information. You're playing as white. Uh, Pause the video, think what can be done, and then you come back. All right. So playing as white. Let's see what all places the black king can move to and what you can do. Okay, so let's eliminate f8 and g7. Again, you cannot jump on your own pieces. So let's even take out these blocks e7 and e6, also f6 and g6. Why? Because your queen has the attack range extended over there. So you need to make sure these two blocks are under attack range, and the block here at f7 where the king is, because it needs to be under direct check as well for it to be a checkmate. Okay. So the basic answer to this would be queen to e6. So you have this, this, and this. All of this under your attack range. And why cannot the king capture your queen? Simple, it is being protected by your knight. So it is supported by the knight, and your queen's attack range extends till all the blocks that the king can think of moving. So this is again a complete checkmate. All right. So you're playing as black in this one. Go ahead, pause the video and then come back. So you're playing as black in this one. Hopefully you did pause the video. Okay, you're playing as black, and what can you do? Let's see what the white king, where the white king can jump, right? So these are all the blocks. Let's eliminate all c6, e6, and e6. Why? Because the queen has its attack range over them, so it cannot move over them. Even this is a viable option for the queen, for the king to capture, right? So let's take this into account as well. Definitely not e4, because you cannot jump on your own piece. It cannot move to c5 either because of the queen extending its attack range till here. Not only c5, even d4, right? Like this. So it can move here at c4 and e5 at the moment. So what can you do? It cannot go to c4, sorry, because the knight has its attack range over there as well. So it can only move, it can only capture the knight at the given moment. Okay, so this is the only thing the king can do. So what can we as black do to protect our knight and make this a checkmate at the same time? The answer would be quite simple, queen to d6. By doing this, we have protected our knight. Let's see if there are any places that are safe for the white king to jump. Definitely not here at c6, definitely not c5 because of the queen again. Not here even at c6, e6, not here at d4, because again moving down, you would still be under the check of the queen, right? Because the attack range will then extend down till d4. So, and not even c4. Why? Because of our knight. So our queen is protected by the pawn here at c7. So the king is under direct check, and it has no other place to run to. So this is a complete checkmate again. All right. So with this, we have finally finished our checkmating using the queen, and we'll be starting with the checkmating using the rook in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a nice day and come back for more. All right. Bye bye.